What's up, everybody? Norbcam coming at you on this Monday. Man, this has got to be one of the most eventful weekends I've seen in a long time. Not just for things that I got to be part of, but just things going all around in the sports world, especially if you're a Seattle fan. But let me just start by talking about the amazing weekend I had in Canton, Ohio. I went there with Mark Collins, my friend who I've mentioned before on the show, was involved with starting Save Our Seahawks and was instrumental in keeping the Seahawks in town back in the mid-90s, and specifically 1996, when the team was nearly moved to Los Angeles. Mark had a big part in helping keep the team in town and getting Paul Allen to eventually buy the team, which it's still the Seahawks we have in town now. So this past weekend was the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Obviously, for the players, the 2016 players and coaches that were inducted, but also there was an induction of the fans into the sort of the Fan Hall of Fame over there, and Mark got to be a part of that. There were 12 total inductees in the Pro Football Ultimate Fan Association, and I got a chance to hang out with that group, spend time with Mark, and just go through the festivities of the weekend, which culminated in the Sunday induction of Mark and the other 11 fans who were added to that very special group of fans. So it was a great, fun weekend. I'd never been to Canton, Ohio before. Got a chance to go with Mark to the actual Hall of Fame, which was amazing. Place I never expected to go to anytime soon, and this just sort of worked out to be the perfect time to do it. So the hall was really cool. Anytime I got to see anything that was related to the Seahawks was just extra special, and there's quite a few of things in there. But I think the most special room in the Hall of Fame is the bust room, where they have all the inductees since the beginning, all the busts of all the coaches, players, and NFL owners that were in the Hall of Fame, and just seeing all those amazing sculptures and all those names in there that you've seen in pictures and seen on TV, but to see it in person is pretty overwhelming. Really cool. And the lucky part about it was, while I was there just staring at some of my favorite Seahawk players who are in the Hall of Fame, the sculptor himself happened to just be standing there, mingling with people as they passed through, and told us about his experience in actually creating these amazing bronze busts of these individuals. So pretty cool treat to be able to do that, and we did it before the weekend really got kicking, so it was before all the crowds had really descended upon the city. So got a really nice opportunity to just take my time and enjoy the exhibit. So some of you on Facebook had a chance to see that, but I'm going to take some of that video and put it up here so you guys can see it as well. So looking forward to sharing with you that experience, but also just the other festivities with the organization. The parade Saturday morning, which also included the 2016 Hall of Fame inductees. So I actually got to see Brett Favre, in person as he's, going down the parade route, sitting in his, sitting at the top of the convertible. Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Edward DeBarlo Jr., former owner of the 49ers, and several other ones who were there. So it was cool to see that and be part of the festivities, and then watch the whole fan group doing their thing as they were going down their float, hooping it up for the fans, and seeing Mark out there, and got a chance to videotape all that. So it was cool to be witness to all the fanfare that was the Hall of Fame. So looking forward to showing you images and pictures from that day. And everything was great, and we left for Seattle Sunday afternoon, right before everything went south for the Hall of Fame weekend. Midway through our flight, in our stop in Atlanta, checked my news feed to see that the game had been canceled due to that paint fiasco, Paintgate, or whatever you want to call that. But I couldn't believe it. I mean, we had been there the whole weekend, and everything was running so smoothly, and all the festivities, people coming in and out, and it's too bad that it got messed up on paint of all things for the game to get a way to mess up that weekend and end on such a bad note. But it was just a pre-season exhibition type games that really didn't mean anything. So player safety and all that always comes first, but a little embarrassing to have that happen. I mean, I'm thinking the city of Canton, it's a really small city, and I can't imagine throughout the rest of the year, doesn't seem like a whole lot of stuff goes on there, but for this one weekend in a year, it's just like football town. And to have something like that go wrong on one game, that's part of one of the biggest weekends in NFL. Is hard to believe that something like that would happen. But anyway, so that was the Hall of Fame weekend. So that was just one thing that was going on during the weekend. But from afar, I was keeping track of other things that were happening. Also that weekend, missing being here in Seattle during that was, of course, Ken Griffey Jr. having been inducted into the Hall of Fame earlier, came back to Safeco Field, and they retired his jersey at Safeco Field over the weekend, and it was basically an all junior, all Griffey weekend, and it was just from everything I'd seen, just an amazing turnout, amazing ceremony, cool giveaways, packed, Safeco Field packed to the top. I mean, I'm sure it must have felt like a playoff game atmosphere being in there, and I would have loved to have been in two places at once and been part of that experience, but can't be. So it was fun to just watch the highlights and on TV and stuff. So really cool. Lucky you if you got to be able to be part of that. But Ken Griffey Jr. is always and always will be probably the biggest name from a Seattle perspective as far as baseball is concerned. So pretty cool that they could finally retire his jersey and have the send off in such a extraordinary way that they did. And on top of that, they swept the Angels the entire weekend and find themselves today now in second place, leapfrogging the Houston Astros. So they're still relevant, which is all I wanted for this season, was that they go into August being still relevant, so that these games still mean something, and they're right in the thick of it, potentially still within shot of the wild card. So good stuff from a baseball standpoint for Seattle fans. And then it doesn't stop there. Wait, there's more. There's Ichiro broke his 3,000th hit record and joined the 3,000 hit club, a very small group of, I believe, 29 other players to do it. And yeah, Ichiro did it in a what do they call it? Miami Marlins? I think that's what they are now. Team. He was, with the Mariners for quite a while, then joined the Yankees, and then now is with Miami. But good for Ichiro. 3,000. I mean, that's just such an amazing accomplishment that very few people have been able to do that. So pretty cool he was able to accomplish that feat this weekend. So congratulations to Ichiro Suzuki for 3,000 hits. He's not done. He might still get a few more in there. So we'll see how long he plays before he calls it quits. And speaking of calling it quits and connection to Seattle, Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, he too announced that he is going to be done playing baseball as of Friday of this week. Will be his last game. Yeah, he's still a Yankee, and he will stay as a Yankee as some kind of staff person, I'm not sure exactly, some kind of a coach or assistant or some kind of some staff on the Yankees after he's done playing. But can't quite say I have the same nostalgic feel for Alex as most of us know. Anyone who was a Seattle fan, a Mariner fan back in the early 2000s knows the bitterness that we felt when Alex Rodriguez left to go to the Texas Rangers in 2000 or early 2001 to play for them and to chase the money, which understandably so. Who would give up $252 million for 10 years? So, but as a Seattle fan, none of us really were very pleased with him from that point on. So, and then of course the PED scandal, where he admitted that he used PEDs. So, not quite the same warm and fuzzies talking about Alex Rodriguez, but he is connected to Seattle since that's where he got his start, #1 draft pick in 1993, and but he will no longer be playing either. So you really feel like time keeps on ticking, and all of our sports guys who we grew up with eventually all move on. Griffey, now A-Rod, and pretty soon Ichiro. And that's just the way it is. But it's amazing this all happened all in the same weekend, basically. And what else happened this weekend too? It was also, for those of you from Seattle, Seafair weekend was also this going on. So we were watching. Me and Mark were taking a look at pictures of people and video people were posting of Seafair. The Blue Angels, the Hydros. That were going on over the weekend. Looked like Sunday, the last day of Seafair, wasn't exactly the best weather day in the world, but it's always something that we generally always catch when we're in town. So it's rare. I know for Mark especially, because he grew up and lived in that neighborhood his whole life pretty much. Missing Seafair is kind of an unusual deal. So him leaving on that weekend to go to Canton was a very exceptional situation. But so we missed out on a lot of cool things here, but being in Canton was special in and of itself. So what else? Training camp too. So training camp continues to roll on. Some interesting developments, which are positive, I think. Last week, Michael Bennett did get kicked out of the practice because apparently he was getting a little too ornery, a little too stirring it up a little too much with the offensive line, and Coach Carroll kicked him out. I love it. I love it though. To me, that just means he's got passion. He's showing up. He maybe is angry. Maybe it's all about the contract that's pissing him off. But you know what? As long as he's still playing, I hope he just fuels that fire and takes it out on the opponent's offensive line, because that's only going to be good news for us. So I'd rather see that than withdrawing and not being into it or holding out. So I think it's great. So Michael Bennett tearing it up in training camp. But maybe the best news of the day from training camp was that Thomas Rawls was taken off the PUP list yesterday, which means he's now okay to practice, full go. So for those of you who go on training camp for this final week, we'll get to see some of Thomas Rawls in action, which is what we've all been waiting for, wondering, is he going to be ready by the start of the season? I think it's pretty clear that he will be. So that's really awesome news. And I would like to think they'll probably go easy on him in his first, in preseason. No need to push it. I hope anyway they take it easy on him, and just to let him really heal fully, and let some of the other guys get their reps in. Thomas is the guy. Rawls is the guy now anyway. It's his position, I think, and he won't lose that to injury. He'll be the starting back in game 1 as long as he's healthy and ready to go. So let him unleash the power. Thomas the Tank Engine, or Wreck-It Rawls, whatever we want to start calling him, in that first game, the home opener against Miami, which is going to be awesome. So anyway, that's a quick update on what's been happening on this, stay there, camera, on this very eventful weekend. But the best part is this is August, and that just means football season is here. So can't wait, can't believe that football, like preseason football, is only, we're less than 2 weeks away from the first preseason game, and less than a month away from the regular season. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So that's it. Thanks for listening to me yammer on about all this stuff, but I'm very excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a lot of videos I gotta catch up on. I got a lot of work to do before the season starts. Prediction video coming up. Need to do a Ask Norb video I've been promising to do for a while, and a bunch of other stuff. Some music videos coming your way too. So, and rivals. So I'm gonna be busy, but it's gonna be a fun busy. So that's it. Thanks guys for listening, watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and go Hawks, baby.